Look, if you're tuning into this explainer, I'm guessing you've probably been caught in that absolutely maddening doom loop. You know the one, right? You really want to build better habits, but then you procrastinate, you feel terribly guilty about it, and then, well, you just start the whole cycle all over again. You end up just sitting there staring at a task, feeling completely paralyzed. Well, today, we're going to unpack exactly why that happens, and more importantly, we're going to look at how to make discipline infinitely easier by just kind of hacking the mechanics of your own mind. So, let's dive right in. Why does discipline feel so incredibly hard? I mean, really think about that for a second. Why do we struggle so much while we look at other people and just assume they've got some kind of, I don't know, hidden superpower or some magic willpower gene? The thing is, what we rarely see are the invisible systems and environments that are silently supporting them. Because discipline, it turns out, is rarely about character. It's actually almost entirely about structure. And here's your first major breakthrough for today, and hopefully a massive sigh of relief for you. You aren't broken. Seriously, most of us walk around believing we fundamentally lack discipline, like it's some deep character flaw. But in reality, the human brain was quite literally not designed to handle long-term rewards. It absolutely loves comfort, convenience, and instant gratification. So you aren't lazy, you're just fighting these really powerful, ancient biological forces. Which brings us to section 1. Your brain adores instant rewards. So here's the twist. Your brain isn't actually malfunctioning when you procrastinate. It's just trying to keep you safe. Imagine you've got two choices in front of you. Option 1, scrolling social media. The reward there is this immediate, easy hit of dopamine. Boom. Option 2, studying or maybe going for a run. The reward for that might literally take months or even years to show up. So which one is your inner caveman going to pick? It's always going to favor the immediate reward. And hey, that was fantastic for surviving the Ice Age, but it is absolutely terrible for hitting your modern-day goals. And that right there creates the massive dopamine dilemma of the modern world. You see, productive work didn't actually get any harder. It's just that easy, cheap entertainment became ridiculously accessible. Think about push notifications or those endless short-form video feeds. They give you instant stimulation with zero effort. And because your brain gets completely hooked on that cheap dopamine, suddenly, activities that require actual patience feel almost unnaturally painful. Moving on to section 2. Why motivation fails you. Let's be real, waiting around until you randomly feel like doing something is basically like building a house on a foundation of sand. It just triggers this vicious doom loop. Step 1, you have absolutely no motivation. Step 2, because you aren't feeling particularly inspired, you don't take any action. Step 3, zero action obviously leads to zero progress. And step 4, seeing absolutely no progress leaves you with even less motivation than you started with. It's a trap. If you let an unpredictable mood dictate your progress, you are absolutely going to stay stuck. We really need to tear down this myth of perfect consistency. We love to fantasize that highly disciplined people just never struggle or never have a bad day. But honestly, that is simply not true. Every single person experiences friction. The defining difference here is that disciplined people actually expect the resistance. They don't look at a bad mood and see a red light to stop. They just treat it as standard operating procedure. It's just part of the process. All right, let's look at section 3, making good decisions easier. So how do we actually bypass all that mental resistance? Well, first, you have to realize that your brain dramatically exaggerates the pain of a task right before you begin. It's like how a workout is always the hardest right before you put your shoes on. So try using the 5-minute principle. Telling yourself to study for 3 hours is going to make your brain go into full-blown panic mode. But studying for just 5 minutes? That totally removes the friction. You aren't tricking yourself here. You're really just creating enough momentum to cross that starting line. Now, while you're shrinking down those tasks, you also have to aggressively manage your environment. Relying on sheer willpower while your phone is buzzing right next to your bed, notifications are flashing on your screen, and there's junk food sitting right there on the counter, that is a losing battle, my friend. Willpower is just a battery, and it drains throughout the day. So if you want to improve your discipline, you have to make your good habits incredibly frictionless and make your bad habits super annoying to access. It's also largely about clarity. People fail all the time simply because their goals are just way too fuzzy. Like saying you want to get healthier is, a nice sentiment, but your brain actually has no idea how to execute that. What does healthier even mean on a rainy Tuesday evening at 6 p.m.? You have to replace those vague wishes with highly specific instructions. Walk for 20 minutes, read 10 pages. When the target is crystal clear, your mental resistance just absolutely plummets. And that brings us to our final core concept, section 4, Shift your true identity. Now, this is where you elevate discipline from just, doing chores to fundamentally changing who you are as a person. You have to stop focusing solely on outcomes like losing 10 pounds. Instead, try to internalize an identity. Tell yourself, I am someone who takes care of my health. Or instead of saying you want to read more, just say, I am a reader. Behavior starts to feel completely effortless when it aligns perfectly with your self-image. Every disciplined action you take is literally just a vote for the type of person you are becoming. And please remember this, consistency matters so much more than intensity. A really common misconception is that discipline is just going to magically feel super easy right away. Spoiler alert, it won't. But through sheer repetition, the mental effort required actually starts to shrink. What once required incredibly painful discipline eventually just becomes your baseline routine. Showing up for literally just 5 minutes, but doing it consistently is infinitely more valuable than one super intense day followed by an entire month of burnout. Okay, but we also have to be brutally honest about the alternative here. What's the actual cost of avoiding discipline? It's stress, it's regret, missed opportunities. And yeah, discipline is really hard in the short term, absolutely. But choosing the couch just trades that immediate ease for a lot of long-term frustration. The discomfort of life doesn't just vanish, it just mutates. It turns into the panic of a looming deadline or the heavy regret of an abandoned dream. Ultimately, discipline isn't some genetic lottery ticket that you somehow missed out on. It's a skill. It's something you can actively design. You really don't need endless motivation. You just need systems that stop fighting your basic biology. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. What is the one task you are avoiding right now? And how can you make the very first step take less than 5 minutes? Remember, the absolute hardest part is just starting. So go start.